Hello friends, I am Amit Belekar from Tips and Tricks by AMB welcomes you to my channel. Before moving further, if you still didn't subscribe to my channel, please click on subscribe button and click on bell icon to get notifications of all my new videos. Already in previous videos we had discussed monophasic liquid dosage forms and emulsion as biphasic liquid dosage forms. Today in this presentation we are going to discuss about suspension as biphasic liquid dosage forms. After going through this video, the learner will be able to define suspensions, describe types of suspensions, enlist advantages of suspensions, enlist disadvantages of the suspensions, and enlist ideal properties required in suspensions. Already in one of my previous video named biphasic liquid dosage forms emulsions, we had discussed that the liquid dosage forms which contains two phases are called as biphasic liquid dosage forms. Out of two phases, one phase is liquid and other phase is either solid or liquid. The liquid phase in which other liquid or solid is dispersed or scattered is called as continuous phase, and other phase, that is the liquid or solid which is dispersed in continuous phase, is called as dispersed phase. Biphasic liquid dosage forms are of two types as emulsions and suspensions. In this video, we are going to discuss about suspensions. Let's discuss what are suspensions. Suspensions are biphasic liquid dosage forms in which finely divided solid particles of drug are dispersed in a liquid vehicle. Dispersed solid particles are called as dispersed phase, while vehicle in which particles are dispersed is called as continuous phase. If insoluble solid is dispersed in a liquid with the help of stirring, when stirring is stopped, solid particles settle down easily because of gravitational force. The main aspect of suspension formulation is to keep the solid particles remain suspended into liquid for sufficient long duration. For uniform and prolonged distribution of insoluble solid in liquid continuous phase, it requires addition of a physical stabilizer, which is called as suspending agent. Suspensions are mostly administered by oral route. Some suspensions are also used for parenteral administration or topical application. Oral suspensions are stored in wide mouth containers for easy and prompt removal of suspensions. Let's discuss some stability aspects of suspensions. The suspension should be shaken well before its use to ensure uniform distribution of drug in vehicle. Hence, all suspensions are stored in tightly closed containers having adequate air space above the liquid to permit adequate mixing during shaking. This should be protected from freezing, excessive heat and light to improve its stability. Now we will discuss types of suspensions. Suspensions can be classified by two ways. First way of classifying suspension is that depending upon density of dispersed solid, and second way of classification is that depending upon arrangement of dispersed phase. Depending upon density of dispersed solid, these are classified into two types as suspension containing diffusible solids and suspensions containing indiffusible solids. Depending upon arrangement of dispersed phase, these are classified as flocculated suspensions and deflocculated suspensions. Let's discuss these types one by one. So first we are going to discuss about suspensions containing diffusible solids. In this type of suspensions, dispersed solids are light in weight and possess good wettability. Such solid remains suspended in the suspension sufficiently at least for period of removal of required dose. Such substances are called as diffusible solids. Examples of diffusible solids are bismuth carbonate, magnesium hydroxide, bismuth subnitrate, light kaolin, light magnesium carbonate and magnesium trisilicate. Next suspension is suspensions containing indiffusible solids. In this type of suspensions, dispersed solid is having more density and less wettability. Such solids settle or sediment rapidly and does not remain suspended at least for the period of removal of required dose. Such solids are called as indiffusible solids. To improve stability of such suspensions, suspending agent is required to be added while formulating these suspensions. Suspending agent increases viscosity of suspension and reduces the rate of sedimentation of indiffusible solids. Examples of indiffusible solids are aspirin, chalk, sulfadimerin, phenacetin, calamine and zinc oxide. Now next type of suspension is flocculated suspension. In these suspensions, dispersed solids are distributed either as an individual solid particle or in the form of loosely bound clusters or groups. These loosely bound clusters or groups are called as floccules. These floccules are not having high interparticle attraction to form aggregates. Such suspensions are called as flocculated suspensions. After some time, floccules get sedimented, but here the floccules can be easily redispersed by shaking the suspension. Next type is deflocculated suspension. In this type of suspension, dispersed solids sediments either as individual particle or aggregates of solid particles. Sedimented particles are having strong interparticle attraction and closely packed, which are difficult to redispersed by shaking the suspension. Such suspensions are called as deflocculated suspensions. Such deflocculated suspensions are corrected by using flocculating agents. So what are flocculating agents? Flocculating agents prevent strong adhesion between the particles and convert aggregates into the floccules, and floccules can be easily redispersed. So that is the advantage of adding flocculating agent. Now let's discuss advantages of suspensions. In suspensions, drug particles are finely divided and become wet. Such finely dispersed and wet drugs can be readily absorbed, producing quick onset of action in comparison with solid dosage forms. Second advantage is that insoluble drug having large dose can be easily swallowed as suspension. So insoluble drug having large dose, if we convert that drug into the tablet or capsule, its size become very large, which cannot be swallowed easily. So such drug can be converted into suspension form, and as it is in liquid form, it can be swallowed easily. Example of such type of drugs are antacids, antidiarrheal drugs or preparations. Thus, suspensions can be useful in pediatrics and geriatrics too. Next advantage of suspension is that as drug is dispersed in fine powder form into liquid, it is having higher surface area which improves effectiveness of the drug. Example, insoluble antacids, adsorbents such as kaolin, pectin, etc. Next advantage is that sustained effect can be achieved by using drug in the form of suspensions by modifying viscosity of the preparations. So if we increase the viscosity, its rate of absorption can be reduced and drug can be slowly absorbed for long duration. So sustained effect can be possible by modifying the viscosity of suspensions. Now we are going to discuss about disadvantages of suspensions. First disadvantage is that many drugs have some solubility in commonly used vehicles like sparingly soluble substances. These dissolves in vehicle in minute quantity and it makes suspension unstable. So if that solid gets minutely dissolved in vehicle, it may create problem in its stability. Next disadvantage is that fine particles are thermodynamically more unstable, and if these are more unstable, they can interact with each other to form aggregates, and we know that if aggregates are formed, these aggregates cannot be easily redistributed. Another disadvantage is that some drugs undergo physicochemical changes during milling process. Thus, it is difficult to obtain desired particle size to form the stable suspension. Another disadvantage is that accuracy of dose depends upon uniform redistribution of the sediment. If redispersion is not accurate, we cannot get same dose every time. Thus, dose variation may be possible in case of suspensions. Next disadvantage is that rate of absorption from suspensions is slower than solution dosage form, that is monophasic dosage forms. Okay, so these are the different disadvantages of the suspensions. Now let's discuss what ideal properties are required in a suspension. First ideal property is that it should settle slowly and should be readily and uniformly redispersed on gentle shaking of the container. Uniform dispersion should remain long enough for a dose to be measured. So that uniform redistribution should remain for sufficient long duration so that we can remove out the dose from the container. Okay. The second ideal property is that the particle size of suspended solid should remain constant throughout its shelf life. So there should not take place increase in particle size after storage for long duration. Third ideal property is that the suspension should pour easily and evenly from its container. And last ideal property which is required in the suspension is that it should be free from large particles which spoil or damage its appearance, gives a gritty taste or irritate when applied externally. Now it's time to summarize today's session. First, we had discussed that biphasic liquid dosage form which contains finely divided solid particles dispersed in a liquid vehicle is called as suspension. Then we had discussed that suspensions are classified into different types by two ways. Depending upon characteristics of solid particles present in suspension, suspensions are classified as suspensions containing diffusible solids and suspensions containing indiffusible solids. And depending upon arrangement of dispersed phase, suspensions are classified as flocculated suspensions and deflocculated suspensions. Then we had discussed various advantages and disadvantages of the suspensions. Finally, we had discussed that ideal properties which should be present in the suspension. Thank you for listening me patiently. If you like this presentation, please click on subscribe button and bell icon to get notifications of all new videos. Like it and share it to your dear ones. Drop your queries in comments or on my mail address which is given in the video. Thank you once again.